Okay, this meeting is being live streamed. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mary Sloan, and I want to welcome you to another inspirational influencer news show. This is for people that are making a difference. And my guest today, Jennifer R. Glass, is definitely one of those people who is making a difference. She is the CEO of Business Growth Strategies International, the only company to offer business growth coaching along with smart payment processing solutions. And we all know how difficult it can be with our payment solutions, and especially how to get hold of someone if suddenly you're not getting paid. And isn't that the most important part of why we're in business? Well, maybe not the most, but pretty close to. And so she does that. She teaches marketing, plus web hosting and design, and has all sorts of design solutions to design to increase a company's bottom line. Jennifer is a business growth expert who works with small to medium-sized businesses to help them find the money they are leaving on the table. She is also, and I just lost my Zoom room. I'm coming back. She is also the author of a book called It's the Bottom Line That Matters. So, with that, I'm going to ask Jennifer to tell us what it is that really got you started and took you from being just another person to really being an influencer in your space.
So Mary, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the program today. And for everyone that is watching, I really hope that what I'm going to be sharing with you and that Mary has been sharing with you since she started this program and moving forward has really been beneficial for you. Keep tuning in, keep watching, keep learning, because the more that you do, but really not just learning, it's taking action, is what's going to be helping you in your business as you continue your own journey towards being that superstar that you can be as well. So to answer, Mary, your question, what took me from being relatively unknown to where I am today is all about helping. We all know how important it is to really be out there, to be helping other people. I started seeing it as a kid. My parents were involved in our community, from being president of the synagogue, being co-chair of the sisterhood, being involved in different committees and organizations and things along those lines that really are giving back. And so I learned really young, it's all about giving back and being part of the community. And so what I look at in what I do in helping businesses, I look at helping businesses, whether they're my client or not, helping them find solutions that are going to allow them to grow. At the end of the day, if you are going to be growing your business, you're probably going to need to hire people. You're probably going to be in a better position to donate to those local organizations that so desperately rely on small businesses' help in order to fund their organizations and their missions. And of course, we know small businesses make up almost half of the U.S. GDP, the American economic power, and it's pretty similar across the globe. In terms of small business, that's the lifeblood of every community. Knowing how you're going to be doing that is going to help you. Because of what I've done, I've been seen by the Small Business Development Center. I've, as an official partner of theirs, I've been seen on many of the major media, ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox. I've been featured in a lot of local publications. Just before we went on today, I was just notified that I'm going to be the most notable woman of a local publication in their May issue. So, and that was completely a surprise to me. I was nominated. They reached out to me and said, hey, we need this from you. And it was really touching to be recognized as somebody who's being seen and valued by so many other people. I've also won the Business of the Year award from my Chamber of Commerce because of everything that I do in the community, what I'm involved in, where I am helping people, and how I am ultimately being of service. That's really the key, and that's what helps everyone be known more in the community. If you're only in it for you, people are going to be looking at you like, oh, he or she, they're only in it for them. When you're honest, you're genuine, and you are really being of service, people around you start finding you, and they start wanting to be around you, and that's how you get known, and known for the good and not known for the bad.
That's a great answer. That was such a thorough and such a complete answer. And the thing that I really loved about it was the fact that you make it about somebody else. It can't be all about you. It's kind of like, what can I do? Start to be out there, start to do good things. And all of a sudden you will be recognized, because so many people are even afraid to get out there. Even if they want to do good things, they're afraid that, oh, well, what if, and you have the same issues, you have the same concerns, or I'm sure at one point you did, but you went out there thinking about the other person. And so I totally agree. I think that if you really want to be seen as an influencer, then get out there and make a difference. Don't expect somebody to come to you. It's not a big con job. It's go out there and make a difference, and you'll be seen as an influencer.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the clients that you've had and some of the things that you've been able to do for them.
So the clients that I work with are really incredible people. And one of the clients I'll share with you, they were a flower shop. And flower shops really are holiday based for the most part, but there's also funerals and weddings that really drive the business throughout the year. But we know the holidays. We know Christmas, we know Mother's Day, we know Valentine's Day, we know, those are pretty much the big ones. And of course, there's, your wife's birthday and anniversary and your mother-in-law maybe. But when it comes down to what it is that you're doing, though, in that market, florists really are trying to drive more growth in their business. So one of the things that we did was we worked with this florist. There were 3 doors down from a jeweler. Perfect combination. I love the bridal entire event, right? I think that most of us, if you had your choice between a wedding and a funeral, unless it's the rom-coms, and even then 4 weddings and a funeral, we're still looking at the happier times. And so we're looking at what can we do in that regard. And so what we did was 3 doors down is the jeweler. We said, okay, fine, let's team up. Let's create a joint venture strategic relationship between both parties. And what we ended up doing was we ended up building out an entire event chain just from that initial 2-person relationship. So what happened was the guy's walking in to get the ring. Go next door, they're going to hook you up with the flowers, or vice versa. They were easily able to do that. But then what we did, like I said, when building out that event chain, we did the officiant, the wedding hall, the caterer, the photographer, the DJ, the printer, the baker, and the candlestick maker. You get the idea in terms of all of the people in that event chain. And what we did was we created this entire event chain, and then to really top it off and to make the Bridezilla's job a little bit easier was we came up with a trusted vendor list. And we said, here it is, right? Take this piece of paper. Everyone in that group was giving out this piece of paper because we knew these vendors all worked well together. And so when we did that, all of them were now getting phone calls and potential business, that means, from the flower shop and the jeweler at the very beginning. And so everyone is in a position to be benefiting from what they're doing. Ultimately, all of these businesses ended up needing to hire more people. They're doing a lot more in their community today and really being a model in terms of how relationships can really drive business, how it can really make such an unbelievable difference. You look at everything that we do every day, it's all relationship based. We don't want to talk to people we don't like and people we don't know. Like Mary, you were saying before, you're scared to go outside and start doing something because we don't know who we don't know. But when you start doing business with people you do know, people that you do trust, it becomes so much different and it makes the job easier across the board for everyone.
And that is, such a brilliant JV relationship circle, because then everybody wins and everybody's business grows. And it's not, you lose the whole thing about any kind of competition because you're there for everybody to win. And, it's kind of like, oh, it's wedding season. That lifts all boats. It's not like, oh, yay, I win. No, now go see so-and-so. Now go see so-and-so. Have you checked this? And that really takes care of the client who's ultimately footing the bill for this, because they get trusted suppliers too. Because that in that JV relationship, that JV circle, there's not going to be someone who's going to drop the ball, or nobody'd want them in the circle. Like, I'm not referring anybody else to you. So it really makes it's perfect for everybody. That's awesome.
Absolutely. And the key takeaway for you as you're watching this is really think about who in your space is talking to the same people that you're talking to. If you're a florist, you have the idea that we just laid out. If you're an attorney, what kind of attorney are you? Are you a business attorney, a real estate attorney, an estate attorney? What kind of people are talking with you? From there, you can figure out exactly who you need to partner up with, and you're going to be seeing significant opportunities opening up in front of you. Sometimes it's just needing somebody to club you over the head with that idea to really help you. But you're going to find many more opportunities when you can really focus in on that.
Yeah, and it gives you such a great opportunity, go to your Chamber of Commerce, find out who would be upstream from you, who's downstream, who would benefit from the same clients, from the same event. What happens next? People see you. Where did they go after that? Who did they see before you? Because oftentimes a lot of what we do isn't just one-off things. You don't just kind of, oh, I'm going out shopping, I'm going to go to one store. No, I'm going to go to this store, and then it's close by and I'll do this, so it benefits everybody.
Absolutely.
So what other clients have you helped? What other types of clients do you like to help?
So one of the other ones that I love helping are nonprofits, right? I mentioned how doing good in the community is so important. Nonprofits being that vehicle that's really doing a lot of good is incredible. Many nonprofits, and the big thing here is that nonprofits, so many people think, oh, no, I can't do anything with nonprofits because they're a nonprofit. The only difference between a nonprofit and a for-profit, and I want all of you, especially here in the United States, to listen to this, the only difference is the tax status. They are still businesses. They still need services. They still need to get the computers and the internet and all of those things that every other business needs, nonprofits need too. So think about that. But the other thing when you're dealing with the nonprofit world is also remember how you can be contributing to their mission as well. Knowing who they're dealing with is sometimes enough of a reason where you may want to actually lower your rate to the nonprofit in exchange for being exposed to their universe. Think about that for a second. If you can know who their board of directors are, and this is a strategy that I personally use, know who the board of directors are. These people on the board are invested in the organization. They're investing their time, they're investing their money, they're investing their efforts into the organization's success. If they know that a vendor is being good to them, they're going to want to talk with you. The same on the opposite. So knowing how you work with the nonprofit is really going to be in a position to really give you even more opportunities. But when you look at a nonprofit, nonprofits need donors. We need customers. We need patients. We need guests. We need patrons. Whatever your terminology is, that's what you're looking for. And I have one client who calls his customers gigs. That was the first time I ever heard a printer calling his client gigs. But one of the rules for me is when I hear my clients say whatever their customers are, that's immediately what they become anytime I mention a customer, because it's so important. Same idea if you're dealing with banks versus credit unions. You have members and account holders. It's really important. Don't confuse terminology, because that's really important, by the way, when you're talking with clients. If you confuse them, they're going to leave. If you show that you're actually paying attention, you understand the industry, it's going to help. But getting back to nonprofits, so they all need donors. What's the best way to get donors? There's a couple of things. One is if you're a registered 501c3 organization here in the United States and overseas, many of the nonprofit recognized tax from the tax authority organizations, Google has special grants set aside for these organizations. Many of them don't even know that they may be eligible for this. I work with them. I help them come up with solutions to be getting as much as $10,000 a month in grants from Google for advertising, for additional software, for additional solutions. Nonprofits being able to use those funds that Google is putting aside just that they can reach their donors. Think about how many more lives they're going to be in a position to impact just because you're helping them reach the greater good. And again, don't look at this as a quick win. It is an easy win when you help them, but it's really the community. And when you're working with the community, you're becoming better known. And to bring it back to your first question, Mary, how you're really connecting it, where you are going to be seen as the influencer, and you may even find yourself in a niche in the nonprofit space.
That's a great, that's a great circle that you described. And I think that's really so important, because so many people who are in business think, oh, I don't want nonprofit clients. They're nonprofit. So what? It's just the tax status. They are business owners. But as you said, Google has a fund set aside that allows them to advertise, because they have the same issues that any other business does. Where do I get my next donors versus where do I get my next client? What can I do to acknowledge my donors so that they feel like they should bring in more money or they should do more for me? And that can go back through your flower arrangements and in some of the other people that fit in there, because just these little things that people can do to make a difference, and just thinking outside the box and recognizing that really they're businesses and they need more businesses just like everybody else. And the more that they can connect and do good all around the circle is a benefit to everyone too.
Absolutely. It's all about doing good.
Well, and it's so important to remember that, yes, you are an influencer. You are an influencer in your community, and you can do a lot of good. And if you want to be known as an influencer, get out there and start doing a lot more good for people in the community. And guess who they'll come to for whatever business you offer? I mean, it's all about visibility. If you're not visible, who can send business to you, But if you're out there seeing who you can help and where can I help and how can I help you and how can I help you, all of a sudden people be going, what do you do? Oh, that's great. Yeah, I know so-and-so, they need such and such, or because you're out there helping, and then, you kind of form this whole cycle. And I just love the way you've taken this conversation on, how did you get to be an influencer? I went out there and started working in my community.
Thank you.
And
Exactly what it is.
it wasn't thinking about me, how can I be an influencer? It was thinking about them. And, if your thoughts are out there, how can I help you? Business is going to run to you.
Exactly. It's when you're showing that you're that trusted resource. Again, like we said earlier, people do business with people they know, like, and trust. The more that you're seen as a trusted advisor and you're not seen as a salesperson, people are going to open up and want to discuss with you a lot more of what is actually concerning to them, and possibly thereby allowing you to answer those problems that they're having in their business. Whatever it is you sell, whether you're selling the phone system, you're selling printers, you're selling IT services, or like me as a business growth coach, you're helping people with that problem find a solution to help them have the answer.
And that is so important. And, people then get to know you as a trusted resource in the community too. So if they've got a problem, they'll come to you. And, so all of a sudden you're a great referral source for other people, because people see you, they know that they can get help from you, they can trust you. And all of a sudden they want to know, well, do you know somebody who does X, or do you know somebody who does Y? And, when chambers of commerce work in that way and communities start working in that way, all of a sudden things really can happen for the good. It's when people get afraid and isolated and worried about, oh, gee, there's not enough business for me, that there's really a problem. It's like, how can I help you? How can I help you? And people start reaching out with the same thoughts about you, I think.
Exactly. It's not me, me, me. It's us, us, us.
Yeah. And the more we can help you, the more we can grow. And even in the coaching space, but I had a mentor who talked about, always look upstream and downstream, because there are people who will have had your ideal client beforehand, and now they've done their thing, and they'd love to send the client on to a trusted resource. And once you've done your thing with the client and you've helped them, there's another person who can help them with the next stage of their journey. Because, when you're in business and you're growing and you're helping to change the lives of the people that we get out there and want to change the lives of, there's always stages, because you're not a one, I don't do it all, you don't do it all, nobody does it all. But by thinking about who helped the person before me and who helps the person after me, all of a sudden you can form those same kind of joint ventures. And that really helps the client, because, again, trusted resources, right?
Exactly. It's also looking at, even if it's not somebody directly in your local network, but also services that you've used that can be beneficial to your clients. Sometimes it's as simple as connecting them with that service also. As an example, my virtual assistants. I use a particular marketplace, and I've referred that marketplace to quite a few people for them to be getting the same kind of support that I have in my business. And so knowing where you're going to be in that position of being in a position to help, even if it's not actually having any direct benefit to you, you're still helping other people. And as the saying goes, what goes around comes around. If you help, it's going to eventually come back at you.
And that's kind of your attitude, how can I help you? How can I help you? How can I help you? And when you come at people with that attitude, you'll start getting that same thing back. How can I help you? How can I help you? And it's a great way to live. Well, sadly, our time together is coming to an end. But how can I help you? I want to make sure that people can get hold of you. So can you tell them how best they can connect with you?
Absolutely, and thank you so much, Mary, for our time. So, in terms of reaching out to me, I am available on social, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can catch me at VJenGlass. That's with two N's. And I believe that, Mary, we have that in the description of the show as well. And on LinkedIn, I am Jennifer R. Glass on LinkedIn, and you can reach out to me also, bgsicoaching.com. That's B as in business, G as in growth, S as in strategies, I as in international, coaching.com. Find me there, and I look forward to helping you. And if you do have a burning question that you want answered, please reach out to me. Tell me what that is. See if we can actually get whatever issue it is, if we're going to work together or not. I want to help you find a way that you can at least get some sort of clarity on what it is that you're doing. Because again, as our communities grow stronger, our nations grow stronger. And that's what I'm all about, helping our nations, helping all of mankind be a better place than it was before.
Thank you. That's great. And yes, that is in the description. And it's also out on my YouTube channel, which is by the same name, Inspirational Influencer News, and on my Facebook page called Inspirational Influencer News. So you'll find this interview there. The description will include Jennifer's information. And I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much again, Mary.